Okay, guys, part two of Michael's journey, more or less. Um, so, yeah, he went into the hospital because they were going to repair his catheter. By this point, I mean, he's had so much stuff. He's had so many surgeries. He's had fistula here, fistula. He's had like ports up in his neck, ports in his chest. He's had so much stuff done. He had to have a hernia, um, umbilical hernia, I think's what it's called. You had to have that fixed at the same time that they placed the catheter to begin with. So, I mean, he's just had so much done. He had to have so many surgeries. And so they were going to go in and fix that. Well, he had an appointment just a couple of days later that he was supposed to go to at another hospital to have some stents put in to his heart. Well, we thought, well, he's already at this hospital. We'll just have him do him here. Okay, no problem. So they did them, or they went in to do them. They took him down and we're going to do them. They did one. And the doctor came back up and talked to me and he said, it is not in his best interest to um, place any more stents. I placed one. The only reason that a doctor would place any more is if it was just for the doctor to make money. He said, I cannot, in good conscience, place any more stents in this man because the ones that he had placed in October, because he had had some placed in October, have already closed up. They've been blocked off again. His body was rejecting them. It was not working. He said he's going to have a quadruple bypass, and he also has two, um, oh my God, what were they called? I can't think of what they're called now. Two other, I guess, arteries. I can't remember what they're called. Replaced. And they were going to use, I think he said pig, like pig made one from a pig. And because we had a choice, and I can't remember what we chose or why we chose the pig aside from the man made. There was a reason for it, and I can't remember what it was. But I think it was because the pig would last longer than the man made, or the man from the man. But anyway, so oh my God, we were, that scared us, of course. And so he stayed in the hospital. I told his brother and his brother's wife about it. I told the whole family, but his brother, one of his brothers, his younger brother, baby brother, and his wife, as soon as I told them, bam, they told their bosses, hey, got to go to Indiana. My brother is having open heart surgery. Got to go. So they came down, stayed by my side the entire time. And when I say they stayed by my side, they stayed by my side. They, every day we went to we were at the hospital visiting Michael all day long. We prayed with him. We, read devotionals and just listened to prayer. We had the chaplain come in and pray and, talk to us and everything. And it was scary. And then, I mean, they paid for my food at the hospital. They would not let me do anything. And I'll never, ever, forget them for that. That will never be forgotten. You know what? Hang on. I'm going to pause or turn down my sound. Okay, I turned down my sound, so hopefully nothing will come in and ring like that again. I apologize. Um, I don't remember where I was. Oh, yeah, Tim and Connie stayed with me the entire time. They wouldn't let me do anything. They came and picked me up, wouldn't let me drive to the hospital. Um, they stayed in a hotel because, of course, mine and Michael's house was just not set up for visitors. I didn't have even a mattress, like a blow up mattress, which they ended up buying one and sending it to my house so that when they come out, they'll have a mattress. And they said that anyone who wants to stay with me can use that as well. So I thought that was super sweet. And they're just good people. I mean, they're great people. And my family, oh my gosh, I don't know what I would do without my family, on both sides. But on my side, my family, my sister, she used to be like a bank manager, I think, or something like that. So she knows a lot about important things that I needed to get done. So she helped me. And I mean, they would come. My little brother came and stayed. He When it happened, he was on vacation and he was out of the country. And he felt horrible. I'm so glad that he went and seen Michael before he left at the hospital, and he called Michael the night before the surgery. And I'm just glad that he did, because I feel like he would have felt bad, he would have felt guilty. And there was no reason for it. There was no reason for him to feel guilty, because I mean, nobody knew, we were scared, yes, but nobody knew. I mean, I just thought, hey, he's going to go back, and that was the last thing I said to him. I told him I loved him, and I said, I'll see you when you come out. It was, we just didn't, I don't know. But, anyway, the night before surgery, he told me that he said that, he did not want machine. If something happens, he didn't want machines to keep him alive. I don't remember him telling me that. But when I went in the next morning, right before the surgery, he said, I retract what I told you last night. I said, what are you talking about? And he said, when I told you that I did not want machines to keep me alive if something happens, he said, I do want them to keep me here until I come back. And so at first, and I told him, I was like, I don't remember you telling me that. And he was like, yeah, I did. And I was the one who told them to take him off the machines. And I still feel guilty for that. But in the beginning, that guilt was eating me alive. It's like, what if and I still feel this way, what if I would have kept him on, a little longer? Would he have come back? Everybody tells me he was too far gone and he would have went on his own if I hadn't have done it. If I hadn't have taken the machines away, he would have went on his own. I kind of wish I would have waited, but I don't know that he was suffering, because he was, they kept him in a medical induced coma. So, and I mean, oh my God, they couldn't get the fluids off of him with dialysis because his blood had turned acidic, and it was just so full of so much gunk that it kept clogging the filter on the dialysis machine. Those filters were meant to last for days at a time. His was having to be changed every hour, every 1 to 2 hours. And after they told us, because the doctor took us in a room and told us that he had no more than 48 hours left. And you talk about, oh my God. I didn't know if I was going to make it, to be honest. I honestly did not think I was going to be able to live through it. But we went back to the room, and his nurse came in and said, the filter's clogged again on the dialysis machine. And he was so full of fluid, like his arms and his legs had these huge water-filled blisters all over him. And his extremities, his legs, because they had him on such high doses of 4 blood pressure medications. They were all maxed out, and that was just to try to keep his blood pressure at a decent level. Because of that, his extremities were starting to turn black, and that's never a good sign. The same thing happened to my mom. And because your body is pulling all of the oxygen and heat and warmth into the internal organs to try to keep them warm. And so his nurse came in, and he told me that the machine was clogged again. And he said that he's going to leave it up to me. If I wanted him to put Michael back on the dialysis machine, he would. But he said it was not doing any good. It wasn't taking any fluid off of him. It couldn't. And he said, or I can just leave him off the machine. And I told him to go ahead and leave him off the machine. And so he did. And they came in and they talked to me about, what they would do as far as like taking all the machines and medications and stuff off of him. So they came in and they talked to us about that. And they came in and they started taking him off the blood pressure medication. And when they took him off of that, his heart rate just kept getting slower and slower and slower. And as he was going through this, I'm holding on to his arm, bawling. And we're playing some of his favorite music, some of his favorite songs. And everybody's gathered around him. The nurses, the surgeon was crying. And I could tell that he just felt horrible, because we all went into this optimistic. He was telling us, I know he's going to throw us some curveballs, but, we'll get through it. And they kept checking it for a heartbeat. It was probably 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And they checked and they said, he's gone. And we all lost it. And they took some fingerprints for me. And they took a couple of pictures of my hand on his and of me kissing his hand. Which to some people may sound morbid, but I thought it was a nice thing to do. But they gave me several of the fingerprints and thumbprints and everything. And I gave some of those away to his family, and I kept a few. Um, that was absolutely the hardest and worst thing that I've ever been through in my entire life. Hands down. And I am in misery for it, because of it. I am getting better, but I still do have days where all I do is cry, and it's just the worst thing that I've ever been through. I miss him more than I ever imagined that I could. He was my best friend, the love of my life. And right now, I am fine being suddenly single. And if in the future I decide that I want to start dating, which I don't know how that could ever, be possible, because I feel like I would compare everyone to him, and that's not fair to anyone. So I think it would be a very long time. I don't know. I can't say for sure. But the way I feel right now, I don't know. Maybe tomorrow I'll wake up and I'll feel different. I don't know. But I know that it's still very early in my journey. And I know that I need to give myself grace. If I need to cry, I need to cry. If I don't feel like going out and doing something, I'm not going to do it. I'm just not. And I'm allowed to feel that way. I'm allowed not to go out. If I don't feel like going out, I'm allowed that. Like they say in our grief group, my grief, my rules. Which I've not had an issue with that. Don't get me wrong. Nobody has ever said that I need to start moving on or whatever. But I mean, I think it's time that I do start making small little changes. Don't get me wrong, Michael will never be forgotten. He will always be in my heart. And if I do start dating someone or whatever and they can't handle that, then they can go. They can go. Because I will not ever. Michael will never not be a part of my life. Never. Whether it's a picture or whether my memories, nobody can take those from me. So, but yeah, I gotta put my fan on me because I'm really getting hot sitting here like this. Oh, that feels good. But yeah, I'm sorry, my hair. Look at it. I don't even care, y'all. I mean, I'm not, you know, Miss America. I'm not here to look good. I'm just here to, I don't know, not be as lonely, feel like I'm actually talking to friends. I don't know. Because it does. It feels like I'm actually talking to friends when I'm on here. Or a friend. I don't feel as lonely. I've got my girls too. They keep me from getting too lonely. They keep me on my toes. Don't you? Rotten. Rotten things. Mommy has to keep blankets down all over the couches because you girls are hairy. Yes, you're hairy. But, I mean, if it wasn't for them, I don't know. Mommy would really be lonely if it wasn't for you guys. Look at this, sweet girl. I would really be lonely if it wasn't for you, Franny. You and Sissy. Hey, you know what? Mommy'd be lonely. Yes, I would. I would really be lonely. I'm lonely now. Just imagine if I didn't have them. But yeah. So, and he had paid for our plots in the cemetery. Well, he paid for his and then his spouse, whoever his spouse was going to be, because this was years ago. And so I have my plot, and it's right next to him, and it's at the foot of his parents. And I got the marker paid for because they don't allow like actual tall tombstones. It's just flat markers, and they have to be bronze. So I got that all done, and that's because of life insurance and family. Thank goodness. And yeah, they don't have it installed yet, but they said they would contact me when they did get it installed. She said that they didn't have the bronze in, which is very strange to me. If that's what you make people use in your cemetery, why wouldn't you have it in stock? That's weird. But okay. Um anyway, I'm at 16 minutes again. So, I mean, that's not all of the journey. That's not all of it. That's just like the highlights. I mean, that man went through so much. And it was just terrible. And I mean, I tried to act like, hey, it's no big deal. It's not a big deal. But it was a big deal. But I was acting that way because I was trying to keep him uplifted, motivated, not, I didn't want him to get down and depressed. I did not want that. So I would just act like, it's not that big a deal. You'll come out on the other side smelling like roses. And he didn't. And now I feel like, I'm afraid that he felt like I didn't care. And that's not the case at all. I would have taken all of that for him if I could have. But that's not how it works. But that's what you do for people that you love. You would take their pain if you could. But anyway, I hope this wasn't too much of a downer. I just wanted to tell, you know, some of his story, and I do plan on talking about how we met and some of the good times that we had, and I miss him. Anyway, all right. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.